The interrogation chamber reeked of ozone and old blood. Commander Marcus Reeve sat chained to a chair that had held 23 humans before him, each one broken, each one sold out their species for a few more hours of life. The Krathel Empire expected him to be number 20-4. The door hissed open. 2 guards entered first, their gray carapaces gleaming under harsh lights. Between them shuffled something small and pale, dragging chains that seemed far too heavy for its frame. Marcus looked up and felt his stomach twist. She was barely 5 feet tall, painfully thin, with translucent skin that showed the faint shadow of bones beneath. Her species designation tag read Lyran, but Marcus had never heard of them. Large eyes, too large for her face, blinked at him with an expression he could not read. The guard shoved her forward, and she stumbled, catching herself on the edge of his interrogation platform. "Human," one guard clicked in translated speech. "This is your new cellmate. She is the weakest creature in our menagerie. Perhaps her company will remind you of your own insignificance." The guards left, sealing them both inside the chamber. The lights dimmed to a twilight gloom. Marcus stared at the alien woman as she carefully arranged herself on the floor, moving her chains to avoid tangling them. "They said the last human lasted 4 days with me," she said. Her voice was soft, almost musical. "You will not last as long." Marcus felt anger flare in his chest. Is that supposed to break me? Threats from something they starve for entertainment? She looked up at him, and there was something ancient in those oversized eyes. No threat, simply truth. The last human grew to care. That made him vulnerable. When I was taken to the deep rooms, he screamed loud enough that the guards had to silence him. He gave them everything they wanted, just to make my suffering stop. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. He had been trained to resist torture, trained to hold classified information under any circumstance, trained to sacrifice himself if necessary. But sacrifice someone else? Watch someone else suffer because of his silence? That was not in the manual. "I won't break," Marcus said, but his voice sounded hollow, even to himself. The Lyran woman smiled. It was not a cruel expression, not mocking. It was sad and knowing and terribly gentle. "Yes, you will. All humans do. Your species feels too much. That is your weakness and your strength. What's your name?" Marcus asked. "Names do not matter here. They matter to me." She studied him for a long moment. "Lyra, I'm Marcus. I know. They told me. They tell me about all the humans before I meet them. They tell me you are a commander, that you know fleet positions and defensive codes, that your silence cost their invasion months of planning." Lyra shifted her chains again, the metal scraping against stone. "They are very eager to break you." The first day passed in relative quiet. The Krathel brought food, a gray paste for Marcus that tasted like ashes, and nothing for Lyra. She did not complain. She sat in her corner and hummed something that might have been a song, low and repetitive. "Why don't they feed you?" Marcus asked. "They do, eventually, when they remember. When it suits their schedule." She did not seem bothered by this. "I have learned to make energy last." Marcus pushed his paste bowl toward her. "Take some." "No, you're starving." "Yes, but if you give me food, you bond to me." "That is what they want. They want you to see me as something to protect. Then they hurt me, and you break." Lyra met his eyes. "I have done this before. Many times. With many species. Humans are always the hardest and the easiest. Hard because you endure so much personally. Easy because you cannot watch others suffer. That's what makes us human," Marcus said quietly. "Yes." Lyra resumed her humming. The second day brought the first real test. Guards arrived at midday and hauled Lyra to her feet. She did not resist. They dragged her to the far wall where metal restraints waited. Marcus felt his muscles tense, his breathing quicken. "Do not watch," Lyra said over her shoulder. "It helps nothing." But he did watch. He watched as they activated the pain field, watched as her small body went rigid, watched as her skin flushed from pale white to a sickly purple. No sound escaped her lips. She had learned silence long ago. "Give us the defense codes," a guard said to Marcus. "Give us fleet positions." "We stop," Marcus gritted his teeth. Every instinct screamed at him to comply, to end her suffering. He thought of the colonies, thought of the millions who would die if the Cruthel got through human defenses, thought of children who looked nothing like Lyra, but who would suffer infinitely more if he broke. "No," he whispered. They increased the field intensity. Lyra's body arched, bones standing out in sharp relief. Still she made no sound. Her eyes found his across the chamber, and in them he saw something that stopped his heart. Understanding. Not forgiveness, because there was nothing to forgive. Simply understanding. The session lasted an hour. When they finally released her, Lyra collapsed. The guards left her where she fell. Marcus strained against his chains, desperate to reach her. "Lyra, I'm sorry." "Do not apologize," she breathed. "You did well. Better than most. The last human broke in 30 minutes. How can you stand this?" A pause. Then, so quiet he almost missed it. "Because someone must. Because if I break too easily, they will find someone else. Someone younger. Someone who has not learned how to hide their mind away in the spaces between pain." Marcus felt something crack inside his chest. "How long have you been here?" Time moves strangely in this place. Years, many years. "Why you? What did you do?" Lyra managed to pull herself into a sitting position, chains clinking. "My people were pacifists. Complete pacifists. When the Crathel came, we did not fight. We thought if we showed them peace, they would leave us be." A bitter laugh, the first emotion he had heard from her. "They found us useful for exactly this purpose. A species that will not fight back, that heals quickly enough to survive repeated sessions, that is small enough to seem helpless. Perfect tools for breaking others. Where are your people now? Gone, all gone. I am the last." She looked at him with those enormous eyes. "So you see, Marcus, you must not break for me. I am already the end of my line. But you? You still have a chance to save yours." The third day brought escalation. They moved beyond pain fields to something worse, drowning. Lyra's species needed to breathe, and the Crathel had perfected the art of bringing them to the edge of suffocation over and over again. Marcus lost count of how many times they submerged her, lost count of how many times he saw life begin to fade from her eyes before they pulled her back. His throat was raw from shouting. His wrists bled where he had torn them against restraints, trying to reach her, to stop them, to do anything. "The codes," they demanded. "Give us what we want." He almost did. Almost. The words formed on his tongue. A string of numbers and tactical positions that would doom millions, but save this one small being who had suffered more than anyone should ever suffer. But then Lyra's eyes opened. She looked directly at him through the water, her expression peaceful, and she shook her head. A tiny movement. Clear refusal. "No," Marcus sobbed. No codes, nothing. They were disappointed, but not surprised. They left her half-conscious on the floor, water pooling beneath her. That night, when darkness filled the cell, Marcus spoke into the shadows. "I can't do this. I can't watch them hurt you." "Yes, you can." Lyra's voice was hoarse, but steady. "You will because you must. Why are you helping them break me?" "I am not helping them. I am helping you stay strong." She coughed, fluid still in her lungs. "Every human who breaks here betrays not just themselves, but everyone who comes after. The Krathel learn what works. They refine their methods. If you show them that humans can endure even this, you make it harder for them to break the next commander. And the next. And the next. You're asking me to let you die. I am asking you to let me have purpose. There was fierceness in her words now, strength he had not heard before. My people are gone. My world is ash. But if my suffering can help save yours, then I matter. Then my existence has meaning beyond being a tool for monsters. Marcus closed his eyes. Tears ran down his face, unashamed. I don't want to be the kind of person who can watch this and do nothing. You are not doing nothing. You are being brave enough to hold the line. That is everything. The fourth day, they changed tactics. Instead of hurting Lyra, they brought in medical supplies. They fed her. They treated her wounds. They made her comfortable for the first time since Marcus had arrived. Tomorrow, a guard told him, we begin on you. She will watch. And when you scream, when you beg, when you finally break as all humans break, she will know that her suffering meant nothing, that you are as weak as the rest. When they left, Marcus understood the cruelty of it. They had let Lyra suffer to break him through empathy. Now they would make him suffer to break her spirit, to prove that her sacrifice was meaningless. I'm sorry, he said. Do not be. Lyra stood, moving without chains for the first time. They had even removed those, a small mercy before the storm. She walked to him and placed a cool hand on his shoulder. Listen to me, Marcus of humanity. Whatever comes tomorrow, you do not apologize. You do not break. You show them what humans are made of. You prove that we both chose correctly. I don't know if I'm that strong. You are. I have seen it. The way you held when watching me suffer. That takes more strength than enduring pain yourself. She smiled,